There we go. We're going to be looking at What Remains of Edith Finch today. As you can see from the menu, I've actually unlocked the whole story. I played it through just after Christmas. Absolutely loved it. I thought I'd just wander slower around the place. I had my family watching me while I played it initially, which meant that I let them sort of direct me around a little, which I thought was really kind of neat. It's got replay story, but I think I might need a new game. Now, in theory, I should be able to recover this. Not that I think there'll be any difference. There's not much state that can change, so we'll do that. There's nothing particular that I want to be doing in this playthrough, apart from just exploring it a bit more. So we're going to see how it goes. I don't have a banana here to eat, so at points I might pause just to have a nom on that. And it starts quite, well, serenely on this obvious boat that's on a lake, from the look of it. Then again, with the seagulls, it might be actually salt water. So we've got some flowers, and there's some, obviously some. Can we? We can. Enjoy. I can't read that. But yeah, this is the start. Obviously, we're Edith Finch. The game doesn't tell us that, but we discover that by looking down at our diary. You can see we've got a broken arm, some lovely flowers. I forget the buttons. Okay. So it's R2 to interact.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Let me pause a sec, because I want to. Okay. Let's turn the music down a pinch, and then I'm going to adjust the headset volume because I turned it down at the start because it was a bit loud, but I couldn't hear her as clearly there. So I'm actually going to turn that on. Right. So let's continue. You can see now that the menu has no faces on it, and that's because we've not discovered their stories. And you can see this is...
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
Yep. So obviously this property's been boarded up. And we have...
My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
If you remember my Unfinished One playthrough the other day, this is the Milton that is the Milton in Unfinished One. According to how they've linked the story in. Playing this through, I initially commented that some of the textures for leaflets and stuff were lower quality than I'd have appreciated when I'm trying to look at it this close up. But they have done a really good job of detailing the world. It's just a shame that a few textures that obviously they've, for budgetary concerns, rendering budget that is, trimmed back. I mean, look at this plant. Whew. That's a nice fern. You can see the atmospheric effects they've put in. Really builds the atmosphere of... Yep, it's quite a damp day.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Now, this strongly reminds me of Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. I mean, just look at how they've done the whole... Here's a landscape, you can wander around it slowly, you can explore what's happening. So let's have a look at this. Now, as you can see this interaction, things you can interact with, get this little orb until you get red up, and then you just...
Inside the mailbox were bills from...
And then you get a direct control where I had to pull back the right stick there. I love the way the text is reflected on the inside of the metal text box, letterbox. Sorry. I just think that's very neat. it shows the text is actually in place. And that's such a cute little model. Obviously it's not fully representative, but it does a very good job of doing that.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Lewis, okay. Okay, can't interact with that. I hear a frog. Sounds like it's up on the stone up there, but see no interacting with it. You can see we've got a ring that's threaded through our necklace that looks like a leaf.
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
We'll find out.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
You can see this is obviously a very good pictorial representation of the Finches. Now, I went this way in my initial playthrough, but I want to explore this. I never went down here, you see. Wow. Definitely some wildlife down here. I love the foxgloves they've got here. Look at those. Traditionally, the tops do fall out, or they tend to lag behind, so you actually get completely out of sequence bells growing. It's kind of neat. Oh, okay. I thought I might be able to walk that way, but no.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Such a sad story, this. You will find out in time.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
But the frogs were kicking up a storm. Somewhere about. Okay, that's another Milton poster. Oh, just
the house
the subtle,
is exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
the subtle twinkling of the piano keys is lovely. You can see over the years they've extended it with various different styles and the rest. This top layer up here is Edith and her local family, her siblings and the rest. We shall learn that later. I actually want to go back along this road. I said I didn't have much of an intention of what I'm doing, but I never walked back this way, because as soon as we go in the house, we're pretty much in the house till the end of the game. With the exception of a moment or two. Oh, wow. I do not recall. Do we see that from the other direction? I cannot recall. Look at these logs. And it is very peaceful.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Hoof prints. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Because I didn't get all the contextual dialogue down there, you see. They're basically telling you that, yeah, this place has been abandoned. No one's visited here in a while. Disrepair. Of course, we grew up here. We're not much older than we were, so it's not been many years, but pretty much for the duration Edith has not been here, it has not been looked after. Opening my banana now, sorry. Don't know why, but for some reason I'm starving. For the intro, it felt like some of this outside environment could have done a bit more to inform us. I mean, we're gonna... Okay, let's go over here. She's obviously going to mention whatever this is, I think.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
Yeah, very odd. But because they're leaving it to larger explanations, an awful lot of the very small details are just environmental art, which obviously contributes to the story. I just found there are some things that there are questions about, and I like that they don't
As a child,
talk about it.
The house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
It makes me uncomfortable. It's weird. There's an awful lot of set dressing.
As a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
All I'm trying to say is they tell a great story directly, and indirectly they put a lot of things in that I like, but I'd like them to possibly talk about and develop a commentary or something. Does the key fit here?
The key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Nope. Can we look in here?
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
I know I'm being vague about some things. Let's go inside, and I'll point out one obvious thing that I will not explain, and then we'll consider it later on in the game. I mean, it's without knowing where we are, we could quite easily be in Britain. I mean, we have this sort of stuff. Obviously, mildly different looking, but. Okay, so we don't get a chance to open it with a key, but we go straight through the cat flap.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
So we have what looks like a wooden car here. And then we've got a stopper, so that when you're reversing, you know how far to come. That's a nice bit of set dressing. That's I think that's going to be something that people aren't going to understand in the future. Why there's a tennis ball dangling from the roof. Obviously, got a freezer, a chest freezer, as they call them. Beer crates. Got some DIY stuff. Quite a few bikes in here. That's at least 3. Guess that's another switch we can't use.
For the first time in years.
Okay, so they left the house January 2010. And that's her current family that lived in this house at the time. And we're 7 years after. Now, her brother, is it Lewis? Worked at the cannery. So you have to wonder why they have so many cans. And especially here, it's like, does he just bring them home? That's kind of cool. What recipes are? But there's a more morbid thought as to what these cans are doing here. Obviously, they mention the funeral. Anyhow, I shall leave that with you to wonder about. Oh wow, look at the plates. Those are neat. Right, so there's not much to do, I think.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Aww. So you got Eddie, Lewis, Edith, and Dawn. Son of Dawn, great grandson of Eddie. Fireweed Road. Mm-hmm. I wonder if the letters signify something. I can't. Or are they just random? I really appreciate where we are.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
They've just done... I mean, look at this. An awful lot of this set dressing they didn't need to do, but they felt like they must. And that's why I appreciate it so much. All these books, they didn't... I mean, obviously they're just putting some titles on the spine. But the fact they've put all these books in here to say, you know, this family loved books, it's awesome. So let's look at this.
Or only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Now that was on the boat on the way in, on the floor, so I wonder if Edith deposited that. White rooster.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Hopefully that's metaphorical. I mean, look at their love for books. This is awesome. See, they've actually used gap filler. They really didn't want people going in those rooms, did they? Hermetically sealed, even.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
I wonder what she's alluding to there. Because I'm not even... What is... I guess they were still packing, maybe?
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
That's cool. They have a great view.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
After it sank. Odd way to describe it. More packing boxes, okay. Is that a whale? I'm not sure what that is.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
So I guess that's Edie's chair and oxygen. She was not well. Okay. I think we're going upstairs now. That's everything else thoroughly looked over. Wow, look at the banister end. That's ornate, isn't it? Right, let's try and go up here without... There we go.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Okay, that explains why it's quite so weird. Okay, so here's an open room. It's Molly. Okay.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
That's a really dark description, right? Is that a shark on the left as well? They definitely have a thing for sharks. Those are really cute mice with little ruffles. Library of Babel. The Elif. Yeah. What's with all the bugs? They've got endless photos.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Really interesting.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh, okay, so that's where the key works.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
But he was really young when he went missing, so... That's a cute drawing. Drinks.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Teddy bear have a face? He does.
But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Okay, this is someone's room.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Well, yeah, because that was quite distorted through the peephole, you see. That was it's well done. More mice. Oh. He goes down to a farm on the... That's interesting. Is there anything over here to look at? Okay, so a map of the house on her desk. She definitely liked biology and creatures, didn't she? Dissection mostly. Do I want to look at her diary yet? Let's have a look at what this is first.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That is adorable. Guess the gerbil is long time dead though. Can this open? No. Those are kind of weird. Little mouthpieces.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here. Before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
What? I want us to eat gerbil food. Okay.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Any other food? Can I eat one of these little guys? No. Is there food in there?
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
But I'm hungry. Okay, so those hanging pieces are still there. Can I eat the fish?
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
No, go on. No, okay. We cannot. Locomotion's a little fiddly. Toothpaste.
I kept eating and eating.
Ugh.
I ate a lot of things that night.
You shouldn't be eating those, girl. Those are poisonous. Do I hear an animal?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
Oh.
I was a cat.
Meow. Oh, right. I was trying X and it's R2.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Nom 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 nom. Wait, let's... Can I jump up there? No.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Trying to get to where I need to go. There we go.
Now
excuse
I
me.
was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Can I jump? No. How do I... Can I just jump? Oh, okay. I can jump up there.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Okay, you actually have to steer it. I get you.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
There's a tractor. Can we go for that? Apparently not. Noises this way.
A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Am I an octopus?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Okay, can't go that way. There we go.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Massive. Nom, 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 nom.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Ah, the drunken sailor. Okay. Is the guy singing the one ahead of us or the captain? He's not doing a very good job with the song, is he? There we go. Let him finish his song. It's a little awkward to get this tentacle to move in the way I like.
After the last
Sorry about
passenger, I was so
There we go.
hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Looks very slick, this pipe. Okay, a toilet.
I got closer and closer.
Oh, this is Molly's room. Can we eat a gerbil? Can we go at walls? No. Okay. Can you go through the door? No. Okay, there's something lit over here. Are we meant to go under there? Ah.
All of my stomach started growling.
You've got more than one?
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Is that... You have to wonder, okay, is that how Molly died? She was eaten by...
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
So that's how you complete a story. Hey, kitty. Complete it. When I say this. Oh, can I not go back in? Whoops. Well, that's a mistake.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted
Cool
a stray
statues.
kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Ew. All these bird cages have death dates on, I guess. I guess she never reused a cage. And they've got candles. That's kind of... Wait, there's a snake? A budgie, a bird. Not even sure what species that is.
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
It's a more interesting story. So Sven is a builder, apparently. Dragon kills Finch. Well, you've got a little national flag for it. Okay, so that's the house they built. Ooh.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
And there's the house with no further extensions.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Conspiracy now. See, these textures are far better. That's good. I like those.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Well, no, we know that is true. Oh, and she paints
Louis
wooden.
died a week before we left.
Wedges.
Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Look at that, that's cool. Coupleton's Lab Native Murder Probe. Papers now available. Okay, so this couple came here and made their home.
Her room is like a museum.
Okay, stop it. That is so cool. Especially the roof. My mum used to have one of these. Really old-fashioned sewing machine. It used to flip down into the... Ah, yeah, because it's got hinges. It would flip down into the thing, so you could actually have it as a regular desk. And you've got all of the family's handprints. That's also cool. Let's just see if there's... Oh, that's nice as well. If there's everything...
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ugh. Well, the carpet's interesting. By that I mean kind of disgusting. They've definitely got a thing for frogs, haven't they?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Sam's first wife.
It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah, I can see. It looks like party streamers or something. Oh, okay, so that's an exit. And that appears to be the actual door in here? Oh, that's cool. How did that... That's really interesting, the way that... Huh. So let's... Let's look at this. Odin.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
How do we move on?
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
So that's the house that was rebuilt and the bricks were part of the chimney downstairs, is that it?
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Must be depressing.
Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Okay.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Gosh. Oh, okay, so that's his statue on the cliffside.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
That's Sven as well. Okay, that's cool. Nice little recap.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
I like the pen there. I thought I heard a noise over this way. Can we look? Okay, you can't look at the peepholes from the inside. It's a bit of a shame.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year.
So that's
just in time
that's
to
us.
replace the old ones.
Edith Jr. Okay, so we're going. What is it? Going out. Is there anything in here? Baby bubble. Nice. Okay. There's a secret in his butt. That is it's hilarious.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard.
It's hidden in this book.
That's very good. Ah, well, there you go. But why? Why would they have so many secret rooms? It's suspicious. Calvin Finch. Oh, that's the... I guess they're not twins, maybe they're just close-age brothers.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Is that us? Who's that? It's a swing, a deer. Already seen that paper. And chemicals, okay. Ooh. It's Barbara Finch. Is that a tombstone? Maybe. Okay. Another little Melton drawing. I see he's leaving gaps in stuff, just like his mum did. With unfinished paintings. I like the dog. Fort Calvin. Okay, so we've got a cowboy in space. Very nice. Calvin. So this is the guy that we saw in a couple of those photos then. Ooh. So he died in 61, I guess? So photos by... Do you want to be a war photographer? Marine Corps. Certificate of... What does that say? It's not freelance, is it? There are some military terms I don't know, so I can't work out what they are from that. Can we go up here? I guess we can't, no. Okay.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Okay, he's a twin.
And that he never talked about him.
Well, yeah, because he died pretty damn young.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Okay, so 11.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Okay, we're on a swing, I guess.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
I am using both sticks for his legs here.
Maybe
So I'm having
if the
to
wind hadn't
push
picked
and
up,
pull and push and pull. Oh, well, that sounds interesting.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Like the little pocket for something there. Oh, and Edie's done her thing. It's interesting how you've got doilies with a knitted remembrance and a painted thing. Is this Edith's mum, and that's Edie doing different...
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Can I go up here now?
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
So I guess he wanted to be a war photographer. There are loads of really interesting bespoke interactions in this game, and I appreciate that.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay, and this is outside Barbara.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
We're going there a sec. I wanted to look at these peepholes, you see.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Okay, so that's a year before they left the house. Because if we were born in 99, 2010...
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes.
And it said we're
sealed rooms
17
you weren't
now?
allowed inside of.
So that's 2016, so 6 years the house
My
is
Grandpa
abandoned
Sam
for.
spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Well, I mean, I don't think his dead brother was actually there, was he? I do appreciate how they've split that in half, though. I guess Sam is still alive? No, I've already looked through that, sorry. I guess Sam didn't die? Because he's not on the... He doesn't have a nameplate for himself. We went through there. I mean, there's not a night. No. Okay. So I guess she didn't need to drill a hole in that door. I would have done it anyway, just in case. On the expectation that Edith's mum would have looked up again. Oh, okay, it's got a load. Child stars. Okay, another Milton thing.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Well, she looks like a child star. Swan Lake, it's kind of cool.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
It's a good looker.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
This is very well done.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Okay, there's
The
a
gang's
table
leader
saw.
is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Ooh. That looks rather nasty. What on earth was Sven making down here? There's chisels. Okay. Colours on this make it a bit hard to...
The old fridge rattled
Okay.
and grew still.
hard to read the scene.
Oh dear!
Boyfriend's a jerk.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
It's not creepy at all.
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Can I turn the TV off? Nope.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's got to be another way out of here.
Okay, so she uses the secret passage.
She played her part beautifully.
Okay, so we come out in Molly's room. Do we go out this way?
Molly's door
Yeah.
hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
The front door!
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
So if that is how Barbara went, having that comic's incredibly morbid. Frankly. Do you not think?
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Gosh. Oh, Barbara Street. Go Fly Kiki. Cool records. Is that a pizza cake? it looks a bit flat. Maybe it's just gone mouldy. But wow. $16. Huh. Do we go back out this way, do you think? I guess so.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Because of the ear? At least that gives us an opportunity to explore more on the ground floor. However, I'm going to call it a night and continue streaming this tomorrow. At least it's saved, that's a good thing. And we'll explore the basement tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I'll resume then.